Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso has come out once again and said Africa does not need to be rescued, but Africa needs to be respected. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about the statement? Once again, a bold statement and a very, very emphatic statement. I don't know if you all noticed one key detail that was stated by the spokesperson of the Malian Armed Forces yesterday while addressing the press. He actually pointed out something that I felt like everybody in the Android community and beyond should take note of. Let's watch this video.
We were faced with simultaneous and coordinated attacks, supported by sponsors whose presence was confirmed during today's assault.
Ladies and gentlemen, Burkina Faso has taken one more extra step towards reaching its goal for the creation of its nuclear energy program. Burkina Faso requests IAEA support. At the 68th regular session of the General Conference of International Atomic Energy Agency (IAEA), Burkina Faso requested for the agency's support towards the development of its nuclear energy program. In response, the IAEA presented its support options as well as commitments to be made by the Burkinabe government and the infrastructure necessary for the implementation of the nuclear energy program. The meeting, however, resulted in development of a roadmap of the national power program, except from the minutes of the Council of the Ministers on July 2nd and 2025. And I'm waiting for the resolution that was being, brought out by the Council of Ministers on July 2nd, which should be out right now, but we've not still gotten anything as of yet. In my own opinion, I seriously feel like the issue of insecurity must be completely vanquished in the Sahel before any of the Sahelian states should be thinking of nuclear energy, because I'm just looking at how dangerous it's going to be if there is an IED planted closer to the, or maybe a terrorist shoots an RPG at any of the nuclear reactors or something. So I'm just thinking personally that, you know, terrorism is a big tool by the imperialists to keep Africans at a pace that does not meet the desired standard of Africans towards the development and towards our own sovereignty. So we have another news that Mahmoud Bari of JNIM announces blockades against the cities of Kaye and Nioro. Okay, in an audio message, according to him, this is due to civilian population support for the farmers of Mali. The claims that the civilians have been warned about this several times. I feel like, who is he to speak on anything? This is the leader of the JNIM sect. I think he is the leader of a particular group of the JNIM sect, because I think the JNIM itself has two divisions, okay? And I think these are the people that actually want to harm the civilians, because not only did the JNIM try to attack, the farmers, they also try to attack the civilians. Honestly, I feel like it's now the responsibility of every Malian to step out there and make sure they protect their sovereignty. If you cannot fight, you must be able to watch. I mean, there must be constant surveillance, because according to the information we had, these guys actually deployed a surveillance drone. Then they deployed an attack drone. I mean, a kamikaze drone that was actually taped with some explosive, and everything was thwarted. Actually, everything was thwarted, and that was a very, very big job from the civilians of Mali and from the farmers of Mali. So I'm taking out this time to give a big kudos to the citizens of Mali. That was a very, very fantastic job from you all, and that should be the highest number of combat kills in the history of Africa when it comes to counter-terrorism in a single day. So I'm giving that to all the Malians out there. You should be proud of yourself right now. So, the United States president excludes Ivory Coast from the United States Africa Summit, okay, to be held from July the 9th to July 11th, 2025 at Washington. Several West African countries have been invited, including the three AES states. So, guys, what do you think? Do you think the AES states would be willing to be in this type of summit? I want to see how this develops from here. I don't know if there will be a representative. There should be probably the foreign minister should of the Alliance of Sahel States should be there, but I don't know if they will be there, and we'll be waiting to see another emphatic statement from here. But personally, I don't feel like they should be there. If you want to stand against everything called because I feel like what does the US want to discuss with the AES states? I don't understand, and everything from the West does not actually make any sense to me personally, and I would have wanted a situation where Burkina Faso keeps strengthening its ties with its ally and it keeps working with those that they are comfortable around because these are people you can trust. Okay, so this whole invitation, you are AES, you are not ECOWAS, so it's better you stay with the people you got security diplomacy, alliance diplomacy. I mean, it's better to stay with our Russian partners and our Chinese partners and the rest of the world than to join the bunch in attending some United States summit that doesn't hold nothing. And in my own opinion, I feel like the representatives will just be treated like nothing. I might be wrong though, but that's just my opinion. So the Prime Minister of Mali spoke on behalf of the AES states at the fourth international conference on financing for development. Ladies and gentlemen, let's listen to what he has to say.
From cooperation to development, Mr. President, for the past decade, the countries of the Sahel have been facing terrorism that has been imposed upon them, characterized by clear involvement from foreign state sponsors. Our commitment to our people is unwavering to make the AES Confederation a pan-African regional power and to improve their living conditions by putting an end to their torment and suffering. Thus, under the leadership of our heads of state, the defense and security forces of our three countries are courageously and tirelessly fighting these criminal and obscurantist forces, and we are confident that we will prevail. However, at present, our security efforts are mobilizing our national budgets. Indeed, a large portion of our resources is devoted to the fight against terrorism in all its forms. This approach is self-evident given the manifestation of terrorism which hinders the achievement of sustainable development goals and, above all, the necessity of ensuring the very existence of our states. Under the leadership of the founding fathers of the AES, who are committed to promoting endogenous and sovereign development, several actions have been undertaken, notably the creation of a Confederal Investment and Development Bank with an initial endowment of 500 billion CFA francs, or approximately $1 billion. In order to achieve effective financing, the AES Confederation, on the one hand, advocates for investments that take into account national priorities and respect the sovereignty of the states. On the other hand, it is in favor of international cooperation, particularly South-South, in the fields of technology, innovation, science, agricultural transformation, industrialization, energy transition, and so on. Finally, the Confederation of Sahel States also advocates for bolder reforms of international financial institutions and calls on the international community to show greater solidarity in disconnecting terrorism from its sponsors. To conclude, I would like, on behalf of the AES Confederation, to emphasize that in an increasingly tumultuous world, dominated by multifaceted threats to peace and international security, development financing will require a paradigm shift by integrating the security dimension into our development programs, with the understanding that it must be based on certain prerequisites, the promotion of peace and international security in accordance with.
I want to take this time out to appreciate everyone in the Android community. Y'all made this possible. You know what I mean? Like your unwavering support for Android community ever since it all started. I want to tell you guys that you guys are the best, and I want to appreciate it. It means a lot to me, even though I'm an independent journalist that seeks for the truth. Um, I want to say I appreciate it a lot, and I really want to say thank you. Okay, it's not by my power that I'm here, and I'm not the most skilled among the independent journalists, but the fact that you guys support in every way and form that y'all can support. So I really, really want to appreciate it. When I get to work, people literally call me Traore. I don't know why, but I mean, the noise of this channel is being heard loud and clear. I don't know if you all noticed that Pan Africanism is an idea, a very, very strong idea. I came from someone who wears mostly Western made designers to someone that's completely now almost wear everything local. You know what I mean? No designer tags, nothing, nothing. You know, the way I talk at work, the way I live right now, that's why they call me Traore at work. Everything has changed completely. I can't remember the last time I saw a football game. I don't know what is changing, but a lot is changing, and it's changing for good. And I really want to appreciate all of you. When I needed support, you guys were there for me, and the fact that y'all stayed to this point. Apart from the fact that we tell the truth on this platform and we give out the details, at the very highest level. But your guys decide to stay here with us, and even though Pan Africanism on the Android TV news is just 2 months old, we started on the 1st of May, and here we are. So it's a long journey, and I want to appreciate you, and we're all going a long way all together. So, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate y'all. It's your boy 72 Android signing out, and I'll say it. But before I go,